Welcome back to English 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Intermediate. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the program. Welcome to the intermediate portion of class number 128. As always, I'm Kyle, one more time for another class, and getting started today with a review of yesterday's material, and we have the whole translation list to do today, which is translation list number 42. But first, yesterday we saw the structure a lo mejor, in the sense of, I think I might. I think I might. I think I might go with you. I think I might go home early today. I think I might just finish this class right now and go home and have a snack, maybe take a nap, maybe go to the cinema. I think I might take the day off. I think I might take a break. I think I might, infinitive. I think I might, plus infinitive, always, right? No problem. It's not a difficult structure. I think I might move on because I think that you understand this. I'm pretty sure, I'm quite sure that this structure isn't a problem for you. So I think I might move on. Okay, are you ready? No problem? All right. Okay, now I will move on now. And let's move on and practice now with our translation list. Translation. All right, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for translation list number 42. Now, this list is from yesterday's class number 127. But here we are in the first part of 128 with our review. And we're going to go through the whole thing because we didn't have time yesterday. Okay, so we'll go through the whole list. Number 1, iré a donde sea. I'll go anywhere. A donde sea. I'll go anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I'll go anywhere. I will with the contraction. I'll go anywhere. Iré a donde sea. I'll go anywhere. Number 2. Lo harán de cualquier forma. They'll do it anyway. They'll do it anyway. Yeah, this way, that way, John's way, Dave's way, Susan's way. They'll do it anyway. Just ask them. They'll do it any way you want. They'll do it anyway. Number 3. No sé lo que van a decidir. I don't know what they're going to decide. I don't know what they're going to decide. Number 4. No van a tomarnos en consideración. They're not going to take us into consideration. It seems that way. It seems that they're not going to take us into consideration. They're not going to take us into consideration. Number 5. Tengo algo que decirte. I have something to tell you. I have something to tell you. Number 6. ¿Dónde estuviste anoche? ¿Dónde estuviste? Where were you last night? Now, I like the pronunciation here. Where were? Where were you last night? We have some different vowel sounds being pronounced here. Where were you last night? Where were you last night? Where were you last night? Were you at home? Were you at his house? Were you at her house? Were you at our party? Were you in the office? Where were you last night? Where were you last night? ¿Dónde estuviste anoche? Number 7. Deja que yo atienda este asunto. Let me handle this matter. Let me handle this matter. Number 8. ¿No tienes frío? ¿No tienes frío? Aren't you cold? Aren't you? Aren't. Aren't you cold? So the contraction, aren't. Aren't you cold? Number 9. No vas a creer lo que te voy a contar. You're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. It's incredible. You're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. Number 10. Déjame pensarlo un rato. Let me think about it for a while. Let me think about it for a while. Number 11. No tienes que tomar una decisión ahora. You don't have to make a decision now. You don't have to make a decision now. Number 12. Coge mañana libre para pensarlo. Coge mañana libre para pensarlo. Take tomorrow off to think about it. Take tomorrow off to think about it. Coge mañana libre. Take tomorrow off. Why? Well, to think about it. To think about it. Okay? Word of the day. Ah, yes, that's right. You heard it correct. It is time for our word of the day. The word of the day today is volante. Volante. In the car, right? We call this the steering wheel. Now, what's it for? Well, it's for steering the car. It's a wheel for steering. So it's a steering wheel. That makes sense, right? The steering wheel. Yeah. The steering wheel. Yeah, so in cars, you have a steering wheel, el volante. We can say, take the wheel for a second. Now, this is not a good idea to let your friend take the wheel while you're driving. I've done this many times, and it's a bad habit. I have to take my coat off, for example, and I say, hey, just take the wheel for a minute while I take my coat off. It's a bad idea, right? To be safe, it's much better to pull over and let your friend, pull over and take your coat off and then get back on the road rather than having a friend take the wheel. I remember a long time ago, probably 12 years ago, with one of my best friends driving along the highway, and he had a sandwich. He was eating a sandwich. I was driving, and it's in Canada you always in the wintertime you always get in the car and you have many layers on. You have your shirt, then you have a sweater, then you have maybe a fleece sweater or something else over that, and then you have another coat. So because it's cold outside, so you have all these layers. You get in the car, and if you're driving a long distance, of course the car you have the heater going, and the car gets very warm. So after 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you're hot. And you have to start taking off layers. So I said to my friend, take the wheel. Okay, this was a bad idea. I said, take the wheel for a second while I take my coat off. So he said, okay, no problem. So my friend takes the wheel. He took the wheel. And I'm taking my coat off, and I throw my coat into the back seat of the car. And I'm adjusting I start adjusting my sweater. and all this. I'll take my sweater off. So I'm taking my sweater off, and I turn over and glance. I glance, right, to look quickly. I glance at my friend, and he's sitting there eating his sandwich, looking out the passenger side window, not even touching the wheel, the steering wheel, the volante, the steering wheel. So he thought that after my jacket, I had stopped changing my clothes, taking my clothes off, and was again in control of the vehicle. And the car is veering, it is swerving, right? It's drifting, we could say, moving without my intention to drift. It is drifting, moving without my intention, off into the far lane of traffic. I say, oh my God, and I grab the wheel and get us back on track. And he says, oh, sorry, buddy, I thought you had control of the car there. You know, he was looking out the window eating a sandwich, and I'll always remember that. And that story reminds me that it's a bad idea to ask your friends to take the wheel when you're driving. Yeah. Make sure that you're always in control, right? Stay safe out there. All right, now it's time to move into class number 128 to steer our way into class number 128. A little more practice with might, but here in the negative, I might not. So we saw, a lo mejor, I might go with you. I might take a break. I might go traveling next summer. We saw that structure yesterday and reviewed today. But here we have, puede que al final no salga el sol. The sun might not come out after all. So we have the structure here, after all, as well. The sun might not come out after all. But it might not. Puede que al final no salga. Puede que no salga. It might not come out. And then al final, after all. Puede que al final no se lo diga. I might not tell him after all. Yeah. I might not tell him after all. I was going to go to a restaurant tonight for dinner, but I might not go there after all. I might not go out with my friends this weekend after all because I'm tired. I feel like taking a break. Yeah. Puede que al final no compremos aquel coche. We might not buy that car after all. Puede que al final no vaya a Mallorca. I might not go to Mallorca after all. I might not be here tomorrow. I should be here tomorrow. It would be strange if I'm not, but there's a chance I might not be here tomorrow. It might not snow next December. I expect it will. In Canada, I'm sure it will, in my hometown, but it's possible. It might not. It might not snow. It might go a whole month without snowing, but I doubt it. She might not help us. She usually helps us, but it's possible that she doesn't help us. She might not help us. She might not. Okay? So the same, but the negative version. Might not, might not, might not. Okay? So again, we're linking might not, might not, might not. And here we saw the structure al final, which appears very often with might not. Oh, we thought he'd be here early. He just called and said that he might not be here early after all. Okay. So after all, al final, appears very often with this negative structure, might not. All right. Good. Let's move on now and take a look at our vocabulary of the day. Vocabulary of the day. Ah, yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for our vocabulary of the day, our 5 words of vocabulary. The first word today is solicitar. solicitar, which is to apply for, right? It's not just to ask for, but to apply for. I'm physically putting in a formal request for something. I'm applying for something. The verb to apply for. Phrasal verb, to apply for. Ruta. We say route. Ruta. Route. Or the Americans would say route. And I would say route. Yes, ruta. Cargar. To load. To load. Cuidar. Cuidar de alguien. To look after. Are you good at looking after children? Do you like looking after children? Yeah, I like looking after children. Periodo de prueba. This is a trial period. Trial period. Yeah, periodo de prueba. A trial period. All right. Now, the last part of class 128, we're running out of time, but I will mention, because I'm in a hurry. We had the verb to be in a hurry. To be, as you say in Spanish, con prisa. To be in a hurry. ¿Tenías prisa hace una quincena? Were you in a hurry a fortnight ago? We have this structure, una quincena, which is a fortnight, 15 days. So, to drive. Did you drive to Barcelona a fortnight ago? Yes, I drove to Barcelona a fortnight ago. And to choose, we saw yesterday. Did you choose Pepsi over Coke a fortnight ago? No, I didn't choose Pepsi over Coke a fortnight ago. Did you give up learning German a fortnight ago? Yes, I gave up learning German a fortnight ago. All right, we will review this structure tomorrow with more examples, more cases, because we're completely out of time. But I want to thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back in a few minutes with the advanced portion of the class. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.